right, so we should have our notes labeled 8.1 ratios. Everybody ready?
Did we do something like this at the beginning of the year?
No. Okay, so like I said, a ratio shows a comparison between two numbers, okay? So we have this table here. We have the San Diego Padres, the LA Dodgers, the Chicago Cubs, and we have their wins to losses. In A, it says write a ratio for wins to losses. So let's start with wins to losses for the Padres. Okay, wins to losses for the Padres. Well, how many wins did the Padres have? 16. And how many losses? 11. So I can write a ratio separating the two numbers with a colon. I can also write it using the word 2, 16 to 11. And then I can also write it 16 over 11. Whatever they call for first. Now, if it said losses to wins, then I would have flipped it. Okay, so it's very important that you write it in order. So there are 3 ways that you can write a ratio: with a colon, with the word 2, and as a fraction. Now, I want you quickly to write a ratio for the LA Dodgers losses to wins. For the LA Dodgers losses to wins. Kevin?
Okay, 13 over 18.
Uh-huh.
13 to 18. And
Yep.
13 semicolon 18.
Okay, very good. 13 colon 18. Very good. 13 to 18. Now, on B, let's look at the Cubs. Let's write a ratio for wins to games played. So for the Cubs, how many wins did they have? 17. And how many games did they play total? 31. How'd you get to 31? Ashley, how'd you get to 31? For the Cubs, we said that they won 17 out of 31. How do I know that they played 31 games? Horsey? Yeah, you add the wins and losses together, right? If you lose, did you still play the game? Yeah, okay. So you add them together, so it's 17 colon 31, 17 to 31, and 17 over 31. Okay, so we write it in 3 ways. Any questions? In example 2, we're writing the ratios as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, so in A, it's as simple as reducing the fraction. What is 12/15ths reduced to? What can I divide it by, top and bottom?
3.
I can divide top and bottom by 3, and it reduces to what?
3 over 5.
4 over 5.
4 over 5. Told you 4.
Okay? All right, but what if I had 9 to 5? What if I had 9 to 5? How could I write that as a fraction, 9 to 5? How would I write that as a fraction? Anybody have an idea, Hazen? 9 over 5. And we do not change this to a mixed number. We leave it in an improper fraction, and that's our answer. Can't reduce it. Okay, that's it. Can't reduce it. There's nothing that goes into 9 and 5 evenly. And then we have 32 to 48. How would I write that as a fraction? How would I write that number as a fraction? Kevin?
32 over 48.
32 over 48. Okay. Final answer? Is that a fraction in simplest form?
No.
All right, what can I reduce it by?
4.
Can reduce it by 4, think bigger. 8. Okay, can reduce it by 8. If I reduce it by 8, I end up with 4/6. Okay, so final answer, 4/6?
Nope.
What is it?
2/3.
2/3. I could have divided from the beginning by 16, but if you didn't think of that, then you just reduce twice. And you get 2/3. All right, so fraction in simplest form, the first number always goes on top. That's always going to be your numerator, okay? All right, and then last but not least, we have example 3, comparing ratios, okay? The first thing I want to do is write these ratios as a fraction. So 18 to 12 can be written how? As a fraction. How can 18 to 12 be written as a fraction? Same people? Chris?
18 over 12.
18 over 12. How can 54 to 36 be written as a fraction? Horsey? 54 over 36. Now get out your calculators and convert these to decimals. Okay, so we write it as a fraction first, and then we go back and convert it to a decimal. got the answer?
Yes.
All right, so 18 over 12 is what as a fraction? I'm sorry, as a decimal. 1.5. 54 over 36 is what as a decimal? 1.5. So is it greater than, less than, or equal to? Equal to. And that's how you do it. So put it as a fraction, convert it to a decimal, and then box your answer. Okay? Now, the last thing that I do need to talk to you about, okay, is, and we can kind of just ignore this. Actually, let me just change it to a whiteboard. That'll be easier. Converting units. How many quarts are in a gallon? You might want to write this in your notes. How many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts in a gallon. How many inches are in a foot? Oh, I put a G. How many inches are in a foot? 12 inches in a foot. Okay, how many ounces are in a pound? 16 ounces in 1 pound. How many feet are in a yard? 3 feet are in 1 yard. How many meters in a kilometer? Kilo, 1,000. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. And how many seconds in a minute? 60 seconds in a minute. So let me ask you this. How would you write a ratio of, let's say, 2 quarts? Can I just, so it says 2 quarts and 3 gallons. Well, can I just say 2 to 3? Could I just say 2 to 3? Why? Why can't I say 2 to 3? Because they're not the same unit. They're not the same unit, right? So I need to convert them to the same unit first. Well, it's easier to go smaller, to go from the bigger one to the smaller one. How many quarts are in 3 gallons? 12. So 3 gallons can convert to 12 quarts, right? So now I have 2 quarts to 12 quarts, and I can write my ratio 2 to 12. Okay? Or 2 over 12, or 2 to 12. All right, and that'll help you on numbers 24, 26, and 28. And if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 8.1.